and welcome back to another Amazon selling video. If you're new to my channel, my name is Nikki Kirk and I've been selling on Amazon doing retail arbitrage for 6 years now. I absolutely love it. I love it so much that for the last 3 years I've started teaching and helping other sellers get started and grow their Amazon businesses. If you like this video, please don't forget to subscribe. It means a lot to me and I know it costs you nothing to do that, so thank you so much. If you are already subscribed on YouTube, I so appreciate it. I'm also over on Instagram at Your Selling Guide, where I'm posting like various Amazon things throughout the day, posting community success, and just talking to you all right there. So if you want to head over there, Instagram, it's Your Selling Guide. Okay, so after all that, now we get into the purpose of this video, which is not so fun, income tax. So today I'm talking about Amazon selling and personal income tax. Now, I'm not talking about sales tax because that is a totally different thing. It varies by state to state, and it's not like a one time a year like income tax is. You probably have to do that every month, every quarter, biannually, or maybe annually if you live in a smaller state. So totally different. I do have videos about that. I also have blog posts about that if you are interested in learning about Amazon and sales tax. Just random side note. So I live in an RV. I'm sitting in the RV in a roller chair. And so if you see me start to go that way, I think we're not level because I've been flowing that way and I keep like having to go back. Anyways, if I start to move that way, you know I am rolling down that way. Fun times. Hopefully very, 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 very soon you're going to see me from inside of my new shop warehouse. I cannot wait. So hopefully soon. All right, taxes. I am not a tax professional. I only am talking about things that I know or that I've done personally from either myself or talking to a tax professional. So I am not a tax professional. Don't take this video as like legal advice because it's not. Definitely talk to a tax professional for any specifics for your case because everyone's cases is different. Everyone's taxes are different. Scenarios, living situations, all different. So you want to talk to a professional about your specific needs. Having said all that, for income taxes, I have used TurboTax myself for like almost my whole professional life. For the first 3 years of selling on Amazon, I used TurboTax to do my taxes. So if you're in a position where you normally do your taxes yourself or using TurboTax and the only thing that has changed is that now you sell on Amazon, there's no reason that you shouldn't be able to also keep doing them using TurboTax. TurboTax makes it really, this is not even sponsored, they just make it super easy. Like you say, I own a business, this is what it is, here's all the expenses. It literally walks you through it step by step, and you know I love a step-by-step situation. So it's really helpful. And the very first year I did use TurboTax, I actually paid a little bit more to talk to someone after I did it all myself so that they could go over it and make sure I didn't do anything wrong. I did that the first year and then I did them on my own after that. Only because I started to grow my business into the teaching side of helping you guys do Amazon is why I now have a bookkeeper, because things just got too crazy and just lots of things happening that was above my own ability to do it. Not only that, didn't want to take the time to do it, so it was nice to just pay someone else to do it for me. So if you can get a bookkeeper or a CPA to help you out, highly recommend it when your business grows, or if you just need help, maybe you want help 1 year doing it and then they can teach you and so you can do it on your own. Again, not a tax professional, but I recommend talking to someone that is. The biggest thing that has changed this year or 2022 taxes is that now almost every seller is going to be getting a 1099K. It looks just like any other 1099 you may have gotten throughout your working life, so it's just called a 1099K. Now, in the past, it was only for sellers who had reached $20,000 in gross sales for the year, not profit, just gross sales, or 200 transactions. If you had either one of those, then you would get a 1099. This year, most sellers will likely get one because the threshold is now only $600. So if you've done $600 in gross sales, you will get a Amazon 1099K. Now, it doesn't matter transactions anymore. Those are not a case. It's just $600. So if you happen to have done $600, you can follow ahead and you will know where the 1099 is located to grab it when it's there. It's not going to be there just yet. Normally they come around the 3rd week in January, so I'm going to walk you through where my old ones are, but you'll see where to go to get yours. There are a bunch of different kinds of 1099s out there in the world of the IRS, but what a 1099K is just purely a payment processing transaction. So whether it was eBay, Poshmark, all of the different ones. So I sell on Poshmark, so I'm probably going to get one also from Poshmark. But it's basically where transaction. So Amazon took the money and gave it to you. That was the transaction. So that's why you're getting a 1099K. To locate it in your account, head over to Seller Central, and from the drop down, you want to go to Reports and Tax Library. And now I'm already here, so we're going to see it. They're telling you right here, it'll be available on or before January 31st. So you can look here throughout January, but they typically will pop up, like I said, around the 3rd week. So shortly after you're watching this video, if you're watching it when it first came out, thank you. But it might be there like next week. So definitely check around for it. You don't get any kind of email, or at least I didn't anyways. You just check for it here, and then you would just download your PDF. If you're doing your taxes on TurboTax, you would just input everything in just like you would a W-2. So I'm telling you, TurboTax is the best. I wish they sponsored this video, but I just love them. Now there is another report that I would highly recommend pulling that goes along with your 1099 for your taxes, because it's the report that shows all of the money, the shipping fees, the expenses, the fees you paid to Amazon for FBA, the returns, all of that right in one thing with a total, so you can break it out on your expenses or give it to your tax professional. Now let's pull that report. Again, Seller Central, you want to go to Reports and Payments. You want to click here, Date Range Report. Now you're going to click Generate Report right here. You want Summary, because you want to see everything, not each transaction. I'm going to do all, and then you're going to go ahead and put Custom Dates. Now you have to pull this, obviously it's past January 1st, so you can pull it right now, but you want the dates to be the full year of 2022. So we're going to go ahead and go January 1st to December 31st and hit Generate. Now it's going to take a little bit of time to generate, but you can refresh and come back here and it'll be available to download. Now, when you get both of those reports, it's going to look like you got a lot of money. Like you made so much money, but that's just the gross sales and what Amazon sent you back. So of course, what Amazon sent you back was your cost of goods too, right? And then after that is where you had the profit. So it's going to look like a lot, and that's why you want all these other reports to pull your expenses, because you don't want to be taxed on the gross sales because you didn't actually make that much. You had a lot of expenses that you want to take off. So just know that it's going to be like, wait a second, Amazon, I didn't make $200,000. So that's why. Now here is what it looks like. I of course have blacked it out because it's got all my information. But again, you'll see the income numbers. You'll see product sales, non-FBA, product sale refunds, non-FBA. So those would be the FBM orders. You've got all of your sellers, Amazon selling fees, your FBA fees, transaction fees. Every single fee that you paid to Amazon will be on here, as well as any of the taxes that they collected and submitted for you, sales tax. And then here is the transfer. This is the number. So there was my gross sales, and there's my expenses, and then there's the transfer number. So that's the number, that's the money that Amazon has actually sent me. So that is what's going to be on that 1099, or should be anyways. I did have I think it was in 2020 where my 1099 was incorrect and they wouldn't fix it. It was like, it was missing 3 months and I sold those 3 months. So because Amazon didn't fix it, I mean, that's not a problem. I'm still going to report using this report to the IRS what I actually made and what money came in and what expenses I paid. So just know there's the 1099 may be wrong. I don't think Amazon fix them. We'll fix them if it happens to be. So hopefully it won't be wrong. But yeah. You cannot rely on Amazon to tell you anything for your tax. Like, they'll tell you your reports and what you did, but you can't rely on that 1099 because a lot in the past years, you know, people didn't get them. If you did $19,000 in sales, you didn't get a 1099, and so that's why you had to pull these reports. So I highly recommend pulling all of these reports for your taxes. Another report that you should pull for your taxes is your inventory valuation report. This report is going to tell you how much inventory you have at the end of the year. So, again, not a tax expert. This is just my layperson's understanding of it. So, say I had brand new year, first time selling. I started with 0, right? I had no inventory. So then I bought inventory throughout the year. Let's say I spent $100,000 on inventory throughout the year. and I sold most of it, right? But at the end of the year, I have $20,000 of inventory left. So that inventory you still have is, I think, I'm not 100%, again, not a tax professional, but I think that's like, it doesn't cost yet, or it's something, I just know I had to give it to both TurboTax and my tax professional. So you need to know that number. So anyways, here's the report for how you can pull it, and you do have to do some calculations to get an accurate number, because it's not going to tell you necessarily your cost, but it'll tell you the value. Again, in Seller Central, we're going to reports, and we're going to fulfillment. Then you want to go to inventory, and you want your monthly inventory history, which you'll have to see show more. Okay, so for this report, we only need to know what we had at the end of the year. So I'm just doing 2021 right now because for whatever reason the other months aren't there for 2022. So you can just go ahead and, again, you would select the year 2022, but right now I'm doing 2021, and you just want December because you want to know how much you had on hand at the end of the year. So you can just pick December. Request it, and then it's going to download. So now it's telling me where everything is at and how much I have on hand for all my different products. And then I'll tell you what happened to them too. So I open mine in Google Sheets. This is just opening in numbers. I don't like numbers. In Google Sheets, I will filter by, I don't care about the ones I don't have any of. So I'll filter by the number. And then because I do my SKUs the way I do, so I'll say I got it at Walmart, $9.99, break even, 12, whatever the break even is. So because I do that, I add another column and I go ahead and add in the cost that I paid. So $9.99, $4.99, like using my SKU. Times that by how many you have left. So if you have 2 of an item you paid $9.99 for, you're going to times that by 2, and now you have $19.98 cost of goods for that item. Sum it all up, and that is your total cost of goods for the year ending. That's how much you had at the end of the year. You can run this report anytime in January, or, I just ran one for 2021. So you can run it anytime, but you do want to know that number for your tax professional. Now, maybe they're not going to ask for it right away, or if they do happen to ask for it and you can give it to them, it's super easy to run just like you saw right in Seller Central. Of course, the other things you want to know are your miles. So I use Mile IQ. It's really easy. It's always running in the background, and you just swipe this way for business or that way for personal. And so you can get your mileage deductions for that. You also want to have all your expenses, right? So I use QuickBooks to do all my expenses. I know Inventory Lab also has expenses. So using QuickBooks, I have it tied to my bank account, credit cards, and Amazon obviously sends to my bank account. So I have all the money, like all the processes happening right in QuickBooks. And then my bookkeeper uses all of that to do my taxes, but you can do it yourself using QuickBooks. Just filing. It's pretty easy, and I think there's probably a lot of videos out there on YouTube, I'm sure, that show you how to do it. But you just categorize each thing. But you want to be tracking your expenses, obviously. If you haven't before this point, make sure this year, 2023, that you are tracking everything to make your life easier. But all those different expenses, that sheet that we ran the report, the one PDF that Amazon tells us all the different expenses we paid, you want to have all those numbers to help you bring your taxable income down for your Amazon selling business. Taxes are always stressful with people, unless you're one of those people who love numbers, and I wish I was one of you because that would be so awesome. But it's always stressful, but it's really not that hard. And like I said, if you do get a CPA, it doesn't have to be an Amazon-specific CPA. You are just running a business like every other business out there that does retail. So you're not different. It might seem like it because we're learning new stuff and we know we've never done that before, but the CPAs know what they're doing. So you don't necessarily need a specific Amazon or e-commerce one, just anyone who understands business ownership. You'll be perfectly fine. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if you have any questions. If you want the blog post version of this, I will link it below so you can go through step by step how to pull the reports. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you back here for another Amazon selling video.